Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the webinar despite different time zones. We have one of the most interesting topics today, that is turn data into insights with Freshservice Analytics. So before we proceed further, let's do a quick sound check. You will see a poll on your screen for a few seconds. So please choose yes if you're able to listen to the audio properly. Awesome. So it looks like the audio is perfect. So I'm going to share the presenters for the day today. I'm going to start the video for a few seconds. So I have with me Deepika here.
Hello, everyone.
Who is the product manager with Freshservice for the past 4 years. And she is passionate about numbers and she is the one behind our reporting and analytics module. And myself, I'm Padma. And I take care of product marketing for Freshservice. I handle product presentations, feature launches, and market research. So I have with me Sanjeev here, who is the product evangelist. And he's the one who is behind the screens helping us for this webinar today. And I also have Arvind here, who is also helping along with Sanjeev for today's webinar. Thank you again for joining us today. A quick intro about the Zoom platform in which all of you have logged into. So there is a Q&A section. You can post your questions and we will answer at the end of the session. We'll also be running a few polls during the webinar and you can add in your responses here. So we'll share the recording of the webinar, post this over an email. So if you have any thoughts or questions, please also tweet us at hashtag FWWebinar that you see at the top right corner in the slide. All right, we're good to go. So we have an interesting statistics. 55% of businesses do not find all their service desk metrics useful and valuable based on a recent research by SDI and Freshworks. So this stat is a little concerning, right? We all love to measure and report, but are we losing focus on what to measure? Is your service desk data loaded with too many metrics that are confusing? Then it's time to take a step back. While agreeing on metrics, take a moment to question every metric and its relevance. For example, who will use the metrics? Why do we need them? What is the purpose, and etc. So therefore, it's always about the quality over quantity. So we'll see the agenda for today's webinar. So we'll be covering why reporting matters in the first place. So we'll also be demoing the top 3 use cases to identify bottlenecks and improve your business processes. We'll also be demoing how to customize all these reports within Freshservice. And we'll showcase the analytics pro tips that are available within the module, and we'll be demoing the upcoming enhancements around analytics. And we'll have the Q&A session after our presentation. We'll try and cover the presentation in the first 30 minutes, and then we'll quickly move on to the question and answer session. All right. So we have an interesting quote here. Implementing a good service desk solution is only halfway through. So many of us feel that implementing a good tool is the solution to all our problems, but the actual journey starts from here. So analyzing your service desk data, tracking the right metrics, and managing them proactively, is equally important to implementing a good tool. So moving on, we have a quick poll again that you will be seeing. Are you currently using the Freshservice Analytics module? So please choose your response here. Okay, thank you for your response. Moving on, why reporting matters. So reports are incredibly useful to any service desk, but they can lose effectiveness if you aren't sure about the purpose. So the first benefit here is to drive the right behaviors in your team. When you measure the right metrics, it influences the agent's behavior. It creates a healthy competition So the next benefit is better decision making. So let's take an example. So let's say you're planning to scale up your team, hire more people for your IT. Then analytics will help you with the relevant data to make the right decisions. So next we have reviewing the overall health of the IT systems. So analytics detects any inefficiencies or bottlenecks. For example, so let's say the SLA achieved might be consistent in your service desk, but customers are still dissatisfied with the services provided. Therefore, it monitors the overall health of the IT environment. Last but not the least, we have cost reduction. So dependencies are removed as the reporting process is completely automated. So IT team has access to the complete data and they will be able to share proactive recommendations to the business. So all right, Deepika will now demo the top use cases and how to build these reports inside Freshservice. Over to you, Deepika.
Yeah. Thank you, Padma. Hello, everyone. So let's talk about what metrics and reports can drive the right behaviors in your team in order to help you achieve your goals. So let's consider a scenario here. Jessica is a service desk manager maintaining a team of, say, 10 agents. She's someone who likes to be organized about the way she works, and to her, being on top of her help desk's performance and goals is critical to her work. On a day-to-day basis, Jessica is required to ensure that customer issues are resolved on time, maintain the overall health of the service desk, and oversee the performance of her team. So let's talk about these goals in detail and understand what metrics will help her achieve these goals. So Jessica's number one priority is to deliver exceptional service to her customers. Now, I'm sure we can all agree with that because customer experience is the one thing that impacts the way that other teams perceive the IT team. So before we jump into the metrics, let's take a step back and talk about the factors that can impact customer experience. The first one is responding to issues quickly. So every time a ticket comes in, Jessica needs to make sure that someone in the team needs to engage with the customer and not leave the customer waiting for too long. Resolving issues right. Jessica has to ensure that her agents are solving issues right the first time. You want them to close the ticket only after confirming with the customer that the problem has been fully solved. And finally, resolving issues on time. The service desk manager, in this case Jessica, needs to make sure that tickets or customer problems are not orphaned. We want our agents' full attention in resolving issues quickly on time without any escalations. So now let's see how or what metrics Jessica needs to measure in order to enforce these behaviors. The first one is the average resolution time and average response time. These are straightforward metrics that will give you the time taken by your agents to resolve tickets. Ideally, you want to set this as a performance goal for the team and ensure that this number goes down over time. So we already see that there is an average response time in this report that we're showing you. Now let's see how easy it is to create a widget in order to track the resolution time in analytics. So I'm already inside a report, and all I need to do is simply click on the Add Widgets icon. And the tool automatically presents me with a number of predefined widgets. So I can either browse through them or search for the widget that I'm looking for. In this case, I'm going to type out, say, resolution time. There it is, average resolution time in business hours. Now I simply need to drag and drop it in order to save this report. So this is an efficient way to pull up the reports that you want rather than creating them from scratch. Now the next metric is the ticket reopen trend. This is a very interesting metric to track because it's going to help you understand if your agents are resolving issues right the first time. If you find an upward trend in this metric, it's time to dig deeper into how well your agents are solving issues and find out if they're compromising on the quality of solutions. And of course, to see if all of these behaviors enforced in the team has helped you with your goal, you want to be tracking the CSAT levels, which is where the tickets grouped by satisfaction rating is going to help you understand the bigger picture. So of course, viewing these metrics across different factors, for example, resolution time by, say, priority or status, will help managers get deeper understanding about their service desk. And this is where the analytics module is most impactful by offering completely customizable dashboards, allowing you to slice and dice metrics by various pivots. Now, it doesn't end with just creating metrics on a dashboard. It comes down to how well we capitalize this data to grow your operations, and a quick practice is to have accessible and important for everyone on your team to understand how their contributions can impact the team's performance. And the best way to do this is to make sure metrics are visible. When you set up a team dashboard and project it on a screen, it paints a clear picture on and what they should be focusing on. So here's an example of a dashboard set up by one of our customers who is a power user of Freshservice Analytics. And the feedback we've gotten from them is that they've been seeing great results in enforcing the habit of consciously working towards the team's goals. Now, another important aspect in Jessica's everyday work is to continuously monitor her service desk performance and identify bottlenecks, if any. Now, let's take a look at the metrics that's going to help her with this. We're just going to navigate to the report. Right, here it is. So one of the most important metric that she should be tracking is the number of SLA breaches trend. So this is a direct indicator of how well we meet our targets. Now, tracking this metric in context with the category or let's say ticket tags is going to help me identify what type of tickets take the most time to resolve. And this will help service desk managers like Jessica to identify areas of improvement. So in this example, you see that Wi-Fi issues are the most common that have breached SLA. So which means Jessica needs to double down to understand the root cause of it. Now, the next metric that you want to be tracking is your ticket backlog. This number will help us measure the team's efficiency in resolving tickets, and the goal for the team should be to keep this number to a minimum. If you find a spike in your backlog metric, it could mean that your agents are handling way more tickets than they should be, indicating that there is a staffing problem. Now, another interesting metric to track would be the overdue tickets by priority, which will help you identify if there are any tickets that need immediate attention and for you to take action on them to prevent escalations. Another one will be the ticket volume trend. So let's say you notice a spike in your incoming ticket volume. Identifying the nature of these tickets will help you figure out the root cause of the spike and take necessary actions. For example, if you notice that a lot of your tickets fall into the L1 bucket, you can focus on, let's say, beefing up your knowledge base in order to drive ticket deflection. This will eventually reduce the number of tickets that's handled by your agents. And this will free up your agents' time so that they can focus on more impactful work items. Now, it's important to showcase the value of new initiatives and demonstrate the value of your team's work to the business. And one way to do this is to schedule reports to be automatically sent to the relevant stakeholders. So imagine this, right? You come to work on a Monday morning and your manager asks you for a weekly performance report to be sent to him in the next 1 hour. So instead of scrambling to create a report and emailing it to your manager at the last minute, an efficient way to handle this is by automating report generation and scheduling them to be automatically sent to your managers on a periodic basis. This will help you be more proactive in communicating status updates to your manager in seconds, and it's going to give your management quick and timely access to IT's health metrics.
All right. So Jessica's next goal is to identify areas of improvement. So there are two important metrics that Jessica measures. The first metric is analyzing tickets resolved. The second metric is comparing backlog ticket volume. So let's see how to analyze the agent performance report. So let me quickly go to the agent performance report that's already created. So as a supervisor of a support team, Jessica needs to identify and fix issues as quickly as possible to help her team perform better. So the first metric you see here is backlog tickets by agent. So Jessica quickly analyzes the number of backlog tickets for each agent. So in this case, Andrea has the highest backlog. So Jessica here analyzes the ticket assignment pattern to find out what actually went wrong, because ideally the backlog has to be kept to a minimum. So the second metric that Jessica analyzes is average resolution time of tickets by agent. So if you notice here, Dave here took the maximum time to resolve. So Jessica analyzes the assignment rules that she has created in the service desk. She will also analyze the root cause, whether it's due to lack of training or subject matter expertise that's needed. We also have an interesting chart here, that is tickets by status and agent. So this stacked bar chart will help us understand the distribution of tickets by statuses that are again grouped by agents. So let's take an example here. There are a lot of unassigned tickets here in every category. So Jessica checks the ticket assignment pattern to ensure every ticket is assigned to the right agent at the time of creation. So this will also help Jessica in meeting the SLA consistently. So the report will help Jessica to analyze her overall team performance and also improve the overall team efficiency. All right, moving on. So we have another interesting data. 27% of businesses spend 4 to 7 hours a month collating reports. So are you also spending a lot of time just creating reports? Because the analytics module in Freshservice comes with a set of curated reports and automation capabilities. So therefore, you don't have to spend much time creating reports. We will take care of that. So we'll be showing some of the pro tips that are available within the module. So we have the widget gallery that is available that Deepika already explained. We have predefined widgets that are available. You have to just drag and drop the required widget. So you don't have to create any new widget from scratch. This provides better visualization. So we also have the search-driven analytics here. So this will help you the right widget easily based on the module. So it could be from the ticket module, or it could be from problem management or change management, etc. Next, we have the clone option. So let's say you want to make minor edits or reuse an existing report. Clone option comes handy. So you can clone a report at a single click without spending too much effort on duplicating. We have the global filter as one of the pro tips. So this is available at the report level. So you will be able to set filter properties and associations for the entire report. So let's take an example. So you have the service desk overview report that is created for the past 1 month. Let's say your business wants the report for the last quarter. You don't have to get into every report, every widget and change the filters. Instead, you could just use the global filter one time to change the date and time properties. Moving on, we have the multi-level grouping. So this will let you drill down into every widget to get more information. For example, let's say you have a widget that displays tickets by status, and you want to see the impact of the tickets as well for all these tickets. So multi-level grouping in this case allows you to drill down furthermore. And cross-module reporting, in analytics will let you report across the modules. For example, from the ticket, problem, change, release. For example, let's say you want to find out how many incidents were created because of a new rollout or a new change that happened. So this module comes handy to quickly find out this information. We're also constantly enhancing this cross-module reporting as we speak. And moving on, we have the top 5 functionality. So let's say you're comparing agents' performance in your team, and you just need the top 5 performers in order to reward them. So what you can basically do is you can just choose the top 5 option under associations here. And this will show you the agents, top 5 agents' performance in your service desk. Moving on, we have bucket functionality that's available within properties. So this will let you classify tickets into relevant multiple buckets. Let's take this example. You're analyzing the ticket reopen count, And this feature will help you create multiple buckets. For example, I have created the ticket reopen count from 0 to 5 as one bucket, and another bucket more than 5 here to analyze the ticket reopen trend. So these are some of the hacks that are available within the analytics module for you to explore. So let us quickly move on to the key takeaways from today's webinar. So the first and foremost key takeaway here is right metrics drive the right behaviors. And do not drown people with data. So choose only the relevant data and report only on those. So last but not the least, automate the reporting process. So spend your time on strategic activities by automating the process of reporting. So therefore, turning your raw data into real actionable insights should be one of the most important aspects of your ITSM implementation. So Deepika will now be sharing what's coming up in analytics module in the future.
All right. So after talking to a lot of customers, we've gathered meaningful feedback to build newer enhancements in analytics. And I am heavily involved in making sure analytics adds most value to our customers. Our approach to reporting is pretty unique. With legacy service desk systems, you will find yourself spending a lot of time creating reports. But with Freshservice, we're constantly innovating to make sure that our customers spend less time creating reports and more time consuming reports and getting insights about your service desk. Freddy Insights will help you do just that. You can cut down the time taken to create a report from minutes to seconds. You can ask questions about your service desk in plain English, and we will present you with the right report to answer your question. For example, let's say you'd like to see the ticket volume trend for the last 30 days. You can simply type in, show me tickets created in the last month, and we'll get you the report that you're looking for in seconds, instead of you going and creating the reports from scratch. Now, another interesting enhancement that you're working on is industry benchmarking. So today, the analytics module, it helps you understand what has happened in your service desk in the past, giving you a more retrospective view into your service desk performance. Let's say you figure out that your average resolution time for the week has been, let's say, 2 hours. Now, is 2 hours a good enough number? Does this mean that your service desk agents are efficient? This is where industry benchmarking becomes tremendously valuable, because we will provide you with insights about the industry average, which will help you gauge your service desk health. Next is data exports. We'd like to call it scheduled data exports, because today IT teams use multiple tools, right? They use network monitoring tools, they use a project management tool, in addition to a service desk like Freshservice. As an IT manager, I would want to view key metrics on a single dashboard that ties data from across different applications. So with this feature, this data exports feature, customers can schedule Freshservice data to be exported periodically via an API that can be fed into any reporting tool of your choice. The next one on our roadmap is timesheet reports. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this. This is helpful to generate timesheets and invoice your agents based on the time logged in by them on, let's say, a ticket or a task or a release or a problem. So this feature, like I said, is already available as a default report in Freshservice, but the enhancement that we're currently working on will make it completely customizable, adding further value to service desk managers. Finally, time spent reports. This will help you track the complete life cycle of a ticket. It tells you how long a ticket was in, let's say, the pending status, or how long did an agent spend time on this ticket before reassigning it to another group, etc. This in-depth view into the life cycle stage of a ticket will help managers to identify potential issues that cause any delays in resolution and determine the root cause of SLA breaches. All right, guys, with this, we've come to the end of today's webinar. We will now move on to the Q&A session. Okay, so I see that the first question we have is it fully customizable? Can I do something about the layout? Of course, let me show you how to do that. Let me go to the report. Okay, so let's say you're in this report and you want to sort of, since it's a tabular report, you'd want to resize it. What you can do is, I can resize this report, and let's say I want to see tickets by status and agents first. I can always drag and drop it to reposition it. So it's completely customizable in terms of layout. And another interesting feature here is, as Padma explained, the global filter. So let's say I want to apply created date in the last 30 days across all these widgets. I don't have to go into individual widgets and change the filter. I can simply go here and say, hey, show me all of these widgets for, let's say, created date in the last 3 months. Now what happens is this filter will be applied across all of these widgets. All right. So the next question I have, I hope this answered your question. So the next question we have is, can I see tickets grouped by agent and priority? Yes. So with analytics, we allow grouping of tickets by more than one attribute. Today, it can be grouped by 2 attributes. Let me go into a report. Let me add a new widget. Let me go into, let's say, let me go into this widget. So currently, this widget is grouped by priority. The question was, can I group it by another attribute? I want to see tickets grouped by priority as well as agents. Of course, you can do that. Let me show you how. You just have to click on the filter icon here. And under the group by section, you see that it is already grouped by priority, as we can see here. If you'd like to add another attribute, which is agents in this case, I'd go to associations, click on group by, look for agent. And what is it that I want? Do I want the agent name, or in this case, I'm guessing agent name, and I can just say apply. So now you see that tickets are grouped by both priority as well as agent. Now, if you feel that the stacked bar is not an ideal representation of what you want to see, you can always choose the sheet table. Okay, I have another question here that says, can you go over group reporting? So let me explain this once again. So what I did was, let me remove all of the attributes. So you see, I start from scratch. So you see that there are 871 tickets here. And I'd like to group these tickets by some attributes. In this case, let's say priority. What I need to do is I need to click on the filter icon here. And you see there are 2 sections. One is the filter and the other is the group by. So under group by, I simply have to go to properties and let's say priority. If I want to group it by priority, I click on priority. And if you want to group by another attribute, let's say status, I'm going to type in status as well. And then I'm going to apply this. Now you see the tickets are grouped by both priority as well as status. I hope this answered your question. Now I have another question, guys, which says, can I share reports with other agents within the system? Yes, of course, we can do this. So how you can do this is either you can use the schedule option to automatically send this report to another agent in your system, or if the other agent that you're trying to share the report with has access to analytics, of course, you can reference the report and anybody can see the report created inside analytics. So I guess there's another question and Sanjeev will be taking that.
Hey guys, so I'm also getting questions on our chatbot strategy and how that kind of links into knowledge base. So currently we are working on conversational portal. That is our answer to how we leverage machine learning and how we leverage a knowledge base and answer it through bots. So we're expecting the feature to go live anytime between, let's say, Feb and March. So that's pretty soon. So that's the answer to that. And we'll also be following up with a recording and let's say a specific blog on analytics. So that should also kind of help, accumulate all this information to a single reading material. Cool. So I'm getting a lot of questions that are very specific. So I would recommend reaching out to customer success and our support team for answers on the specific questions. So we're just looking through the list to see if we find anything that makes sense to everyone.
Okay, I have another question that says, can you tell me the timeline for the report, the roadmap items? So all of the items that I just showed you, we are on track to release it by Q1 of 2019. We're just going through other questions. Please give us a moment here. Okay, I have a question here. It's pretty interesting that says time tracked is different from system time taken. I would like to create a widget using time tracked. Yes, this is the enhancement that I was talking about. It is of course possible for us to create reports using time tracked. That is one of the items on our roadmap, and we are on track to release it in Q1. So another question here is, can we have analytics for project management and contracts? Yes, of course, this is part of our roadmap and we've been getting a lot of asks. So currently we're working on the enhancements that I showed you in the webinar. So for projects and contracts, we've today it's on our Q2 roadmap. So another question is the dashboarding tool built from scratch in-house, or are you using tools like Superset? This is built in-house by our reports team. And this video will be available. There's a question asking if this video will be available. Yes, we will be sending it to you. So there's another question that says sharing reports on agent in the system. Some of our agents don't see analytics. Okay, so if you can still see my screen, let me show how to make sure an agent can view analytics. You simply have to go into admin. You have to contact your IT admin, but if you are the IT admin, then this is what you'll have to do. Go inside admins, you'll have to go into, let's say, roles. And whichever role the agent is part of, the agent you're trying to give access to is part of, let's take supervisor here. You will see a section called reports. Simply click on that, and then you see a permission called view analytics. If this permission is enabled for an agent, the particular agent will be able to view analytics. So this is how we enable analytics for an agent in the system. So the next question here is, in the future, are we going to be able to put timesheet data into a widget? Absolutely, that's the one that we're working on currently, and we will be releasing it in March. Yeah, here's a very interesting question. So the question is, what if I do not want anyone other than myself to access a particular report? So we have an option for that. Let me go back to analytics. So let's say while I'm creating a new report, you have an option. You can enter that report title. For example, in this case, let me say help desk in depth. And you have an option where you can set the visibility. You can either make it visible only to yourself or to everyone in the service desk. So this is how you can set visibility options while creating a report. So another question is there a one-time export, PDFs of the graphs, not the XLS file? Absolutely, yes. So let's say you have multiple widgets on a report and you would like a PDF copy of this sent to your email or to some of your stakeholders. What you can do is you can simply export it as PDF so that you get it delivered to your email. But if you'd like to share this report across multiple people, you could click on the schedule option and you can enter the recipients here. You will, the report will be delivered in the PDF format to all of the email IDs that you've mentioned here. Another question is, can the visibility axis be changed from visible to me to visible to everyone or vice versa when needed? Of course. So this is a report that I've already created. If I want to go in and change the visibility option, I simply have to click on the edit report here. When you hover near the title, you would see this option. When I click on it, here is where I can reset the visibility options. So I see that there are a lot of questions here, but in the interest of time, what we'll do is we will answer all of your questions offline and we will reach out to you.
So thank you so much everyone for the response. So Freshservice is committed to making life easy for service desk users, and we want all of you to derive maximum value out of Freshservice. So we have a quick poll. The final poll, I request all of you to answer this. Would you like to try Freshservice Analytics? Would you like to enable in your account if it's not already enabled? Thank you so much for the response. So therefore, focus on the users, understand the problems you need to solve better, and don't get confused in the ocean of too many data. So if you have any more questions or feedback about the webinar, please write to us at support@freshservice.com. So we'll be sharing the webinar recording with all of you shortly. So thank you so much again for joining us for the webinar. It was really great talking to all of you. Really appreciate it. Have a good day. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.